we got another ride along today. It is Sunday, emergency calls. Made it out to my first call. There was nobody answering the door, and I actually called them 3 times, left a voicemail, sent a text, called them again, and the office called. So we decided to go on anyway, and there was nobody wanting to come to the door. So we're going to move on. Update. My next 2 calls canceled, and the first call that did not answer called into the office, so let's go see what's up. Well, after going through 3 attics that the homeowner had no idea where they were, I finally found the furnace, and it was completely froze up on the coil. I found the outdoor unit, and lo and behold, we're frozen up solid. Alright, we gotta say, no cooling on a zone system. This system has been a thorn in our side. Continuous water leaks. They had no problems until they decided to zone it. And I have replaced P-traps. I have wired in safety switches. I believe this bottom zone is just way too small for the system, and they've had a boatload of construction going on, clogging up filters. This one's getting old. Let's go see what's up this time. Well, first thing I would like to look at is this outdoor unit. And look at this. And as you can see, this thing is completely frozen up. Got a little breach in the insulation over here. That ain't no good. Time to shut her down and return. Thought I'd come down and take a look and see if I could spot anything other than this ice. We've got a zone board here, and one zone is calling. We can tell by the green light being on. And we have a closed damper, open damper, and a closed damper, and a closed damper. And this open damper looks to be a 10-inch. So anyway, why is the fan not running is the question. Even though the zone board has a green light on it. So let's jump into here and see. Alright, I went and checked voltage across the equipment side of the unit. I went from R to Y and got 0 volts, indicating a call for cooling. I went from R to G, got 0 volts, indicating a call for the blower. So the zone board is doing what it's supposed to. Check this out. So now we just need to get up in here and see what's going on. Alright, I've traced it down, and here's our green from our zone board, and there is 24 volts there to common, which comes up to here, and there's nothing passing through to here, which goes back over to our relay back there in the back. So if we get our little jumper wire, we just jump out this time delay relay, we have fans. So we have got a time delay relay which has failed. So we'll just bypass it in the meantime and get this thing up and running. Alright, let's head on to the next. Put that little Y-spade connector on there as temporary till we get back. Alright, we got us a bottle shop that has no cooling in the main area. Here we go. Alright, luckily these are down on ground floor. And let's see what we got. We got one unit that's turned off. So that's probably the one. See some water down around all in here. Probably need to clean these coils a little bit. Let's look down inside, see what we can find. I see ice. I don't know if we can get in there with a camera on a bright day, but we're full of ice. Another system froze up. 3 in a row. How about that? There was nobody at the bottle shop. I knocked on the door and tried to call. She finally returned her call, said that her workers showed up this morning, replaced some dirty filters, and turned the disconnect off. So they might call us back. We'll see. We're getting ready to pull up on a condensate pump that is running continuously. I was here early in the springtime and it was full of white slime from aluminum coil. Let's see if it's happening again. All right, we are here, and the office had actually told the customer to turn the power off, which they did, and I had them turn it back on, and the pump is not activated or trying to run. But see all that slime down in there? It's back. All right, I popped the float out and we got some stuff on there. Let's see what we got in here. Yeah, we got all kind of gunk in there. All right, looks like we get to flush this thing out and do it again. And this is a new aluminum coil train, but I don't think it matters what brand anymore. I think it's just this aluminum coil stuff that's doing all this. Maybe I'll put a piece of silver solder in the drain pan. Hopefully that'll help. All right, got the cover off of here, and we'll zoom in down in there, and there it is. So we're just going to flush all that out and put some more Viper pan and drain treatment in there. Alright, I took this all apart, cleaned all this out, and cleaned the pump out. So it's nice and clean now. Got it actually empty. I sprayed it with a nice film of Viper pan treatment. I did dry the pump out, so it is sitting in there dry. Flushed the drain pan out. Went and laid a bead of Viper cleaner on both sides. You can kind of see where discolor or change color there, just so it can drain on down. I used hot water so the pan is dry. Sprayed some all down in the pan, all down in there. So we'll see what that does. Last time it lasted 5 months. Alright, this is a call that we were out at the other day. It's a heat pump. It was out on low pressure switch. Everything checked out fine. Definitely not low in refrigerant. I believe it was operating at like 10 degrees subcooling. I think the report said 140 some odd suction pressure. So let's go see if this circuit board is giving us the same code. Alright, both thermostats are calling for cooling, and as you can see by the fan blade, it is not running. Let's jump in here and see what this circuit board is going to tell us inside this panel. Alright, we got one light off and the other is doing a steady flash. Let's take a look and see what that means. Alright, right there we got LED off 1. LED 2 is flash, which is telling us a low pressure lockout. Same code as yesterday. Let's reset this thing, see if it comes on. We're going to ohm out the low pressure switch, see if we get any resistance or anything on there. We'll check the pressure too. I've got a low pressure switch on our control board. That is between our high pressure switch. There's our low pressure switch right there. And our reversing valve. So it's between there. come over and look at this one. It says that our low pressure switch is brown and brown. So we'll pop those off and ohm that out right quick. Alright, we popped our low pressure switch wires off of the terminals. We got them hooked up right here with some alligator leads, and our fish meter is telling us that we are 100% closed with no resistance. Let's reset this thing and fire it up, check our pressures. Alright, I went and put a jumper over here on the low pressure switch to just eliminate that. And to reset the circuit board, all we have to do is take power off of it and reapply power. It'll go through a 5-minute time delay, which I'm... Alright, system kicked on, 153 suction, 10 degrees superheat. Well, you can see the system's running, and I've got my jumper on my low pressure switch here, so we'll take that out of the circuit. Over here I've got my lead still hooked up to my meter, and we are closed. And I've got my field piece hooked up, so you can see from our pressures we was pushing 150 pounds of suction, so there's no reason on earth for that low pressure switch to be activating. This machine is a zone system. We're going to go in there and make sure all the zone dampers are open. I know the fan's running because it's been running since yesterday, so we don't have to worry about a blower motor not running. Alright, we have got some wonderful airflow coming out of here, so we don't have a damper not opening. And down here in the basement on the other zone, and we've got some good airflow blowing out of here. We're going to turn each thermostat off one by one and see if things change. Alright, it's showing 78 degrees down here. I've turned it up to 80. Let's see what the airflow is doing. And we have no airflow. Perfect. Let's go check our pressures. Alright, downstairs zone is turned off. Suction still 148. Superheat still 10 degrees. Unit is still running, and you see our suction pressure dropped a little bit, but the temperature in the house is coming down, so that's understandable. Let's go and turn that back on downstairs and turn the upstairs off. See what we get. Alright, downstairs is now on. Let's go turn the upstairs off. And it is 81 degrees in here. I've got it set up to 84. And this damper has shut down, no airflow. Let's go check our pressures and our pressure switch. And just for kicks, downstairs is still blowing because we have it calling for cooling. Alright, let's check our pressure switch, see what we got, and it is still closed. That's good. Let's check our pressures. We've got the downstairs calling only, which is a small zone, so our suction pressure did drop. Superheat still stabilizing out. Just a little recap. If it is this pressure switch, it is a screw-on type, which is wonderful, so we won't have to dump any charge. It'll just screw off and screw back on. Be cheaper than doing the circuit board, so we'll hope for the best for the customer. Alright, well, I thought that was the last one of the day, but we got one more to do. We were out right at a month ago, put 3 pounds of refrigerant in. And I just spoke to the lady, and she said it's acting differently. So let's go see what's going on. Alright, what we've got is a blown fuse inside of the furnace. I disconnected the contactor and ohmed it out at 13 ohms, which is okay. Ohmed out the wires to ground, and we are definitely grounded control wires from the furnace through the house out to the outdoor unit somewhere. It's an old house. It's been reworked multiple times, so we're just going to pull a wire from that vent and bring it down. There's already some wire coming down, all the way down and across to the air conditioner, which is back behind that wall or that fence. All right, I'm not going to film this, but that's what we're doing. All right, check in with you later. Upflow in the attic, Goodman Amana furnace. Plenty of room up top to raise it if we need to. All flex duct on the supply. Has a 16 by 25 filter slot. Has a bulldog drain pan switch. And nothing in the, no switches on there. There's a lot of oil all over the place. Starting right here, see how it changes color all the way down. See how this whole bottom row's changed color? That's all oil. Alright guys, customer finally made a decision to get their equipment replaced. They're just going to do an AC and coil. Their furnace is only like 5 years old. So they're going to get that that wire run at a much cheaper rate. The oil is just pouring out of that condenser coil. Like I said, we put like 3 or 4 pounds in the system 3.5 weeks ago, so they know they needed a new one, so they went ahead and opted to invest their money into a full system, including a new control wire from the furnace down to the AC unit. So good choice on their end. I appreciate y'all hanging around, and we'll do it again. Y'all be safe. Hey, how y'all like my new hat? I kind of did not win this on the Skilled Trade Up show the other week. Anyway, Brother Zach hooked me up. Anyway, I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me today. This was a Sunday ride along. We did 6 calls, did a system that was froze up. I left it off at the disconnect. Customer never did call us back. Then we went on over to a froze up system that had a zone system on it, and we determined that the time delay relay for the fan was bad. Went over to another frozen system at a bottle shop. The workers had already showed up before I did, turned the disconnect off and changed their clogged up air filters. Never heard back from them. Then we went over to a slime job from these new aluminum coils and got that cleaned up. Some Viper pan and drain treatment was applied, and then we went over to the low pressure switch, which was also another zone system, and just ensured the refrigerant level was good. It was going off on low pressure switch. So what we did is we left the low pressure switch out of the circuit. We put a jumper on there. So if the customer calls back and the system is locking out, we know that we have a bad defrost control board. If she does not call back, we know we have a bad pressure switch. So if that's the case, we will replace that. And the final job of the day was a blowing low voltage fuse. Found the control wire from the furnace down to the air conditioning unit bad. Customer opted to replace their AC and coil and control wire since they know they have a refrigerant leak. Well, all right, that was it. Appreciate you once again, and be sure and subscribe if you have not as of yet. Be sure and hit the notification button, and we will see y'all on the next one. And as always, y'all be safe.